When you think Alabama, basically here's what comes to mind: arts and crafts. We got an arts and crafts show. I carved. Look at this beaver I carved. That's about the caliber of art that people think when you hear Alabama. I've been told I need to name my shop Redneck Effects so many times, and actually considered it. Yeah, there's no organization here. Even as a little kid, even though horror movies scared me, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the old Universal classics, Creature from the Black Lagoon always terrified me. I knew I wanted to do something with those guys, and when I was a little kid, I would try to find out where their addresses were so I could write letters to them and say, "Dear Mr. Monster, would love to come work with you."
When we got married, they were doing probably nobody knows what this is anymore, but the JCs did a haunted house.
And I had this basic Walmart makeup, and I hadn't even thought about doing this for years. And I was coming up with these really creative makeups at the time. Anyway, she said, "You're so talented at this. Why don't you, look into doing this? If not for a living, at least you can, do it part-time and enjoy yourself." And little did she know what a monster she was creating that day.
And so it's completely my fault, so I can't really say anything about it.
It's not stable income. You're feast or famine is basically what this is. You can go a long time without getting a job and then get, 3 calls for jobs in one day. So the stability of that is not very practical. Creating is always the funnest part. But I will say, when you get to a certain point in the application process and you're seeing the final thing, it's the Frankenstein complex. You're the doctor and your creation is coming to life, and you just cannot wait to see the finished product. And sometimes it's not quite what you envisioned. Sometimes it's much better than what you thought it was going to be. And then other times it's like, well, that was way off in left field. This is the most nerve-wracking part of it. Well, no. This is the second most nerve-wracking. The application, when you're trying to line everything up and hope you're not sticking it in the wrong spot. That's the most nerve-wracking. Just tacking this down, waiting for that eye to dry. I'm start gluing over here. See, this is the edge I was talking about, like folded in on itself. See, you feel how lightweight this is on your face?
Yeah.
As opposed to that silicone?
Yeah.
And even though it's hot, it's not near as hot.
No, that's not bad.
Generally, it's, we want you to do the effects for our film. Now, we have no money. And my response is, "Why are you calling me?" Well, we hear you're really good and you can do things, that most artists can't do for very little money. Well, it's true, but it's not that they can't do it, it's they won't do it, Every effect in a film, there's at least 10 different ways to do it. From dirt cheap to actually looking halfway decent. And, the most expensive way is not always the best way. It's what a good artist can do to make it look the best and give them the most efficient price. I would like to thank my muse, Matt. Without him, without my muse, I would not have anyone to practice on but myself. Get your collar up there. Ooh, you smell like apples.
Oh, thank you. I enjoy watching him create his process and everything, and just being a part of it. It's just fascinating. I put on these masks and stuff like that, and I'm not me. I can run around terrorizing kids and not feel bad about it, sort of a thing. Or not feel as bad.
See, I didn't think it was going to turn out much when I started putting that white stuff on. I don't know about this, though. It's all in the paint. I'm not afraid of CGI. When it first hit, the CGI was a tool that everyone wanted to use. But the best is a merger of the two. It can only make an effect look better if it's done wisely. Have they gotten to the point to where they can do a complete CGI makeup? They can, and until you get the artist that can sit there and program it right, I don't think it'll ever get to the point to where a computer will take over. Some of your directors that either like the old school style or are old school directors like to have the practical stuff there because the actors have something to react with, to emote from. I don't care if you got a 10-foot tall tennis ball looking at you and you're going, ah! It's not as scary as if you had a 10-foot freaking monster right there in front of you going, ah! Yeah, but I'm just a, redneck from Montgomery, Alabama. What do I know? Yeah.